Hey guys, what's up? Today we are going to learn about adding toggles to your VRChat avatars. So this tutorial kind of assumes that you already have a character rig ready to go and that you already know the basics of making an avatar with SDK 3. So we're going to be using my Sonic Mania rig as an example. And so you're probably, for starters, you're going to want to make a folder, call it anims. You want to go in that folder and create two things to start with: an expressions menu and a parameters menu. And the next thing you want to do is you want to rename these to just whatever makes sense. So I'm just going to call these Sonic Mania menu and Sonic Menu params. And I have to add the VRC avatar descriptor to this real quick. And then you want to, in your VRChat avatar descriptor, which you should already have, you want to go down to expressions, and you want to drag in your newly made parameters and your menu. From there, you want to create animator controller. We're going to call it Sonic Controller. Then you want to create two animations. And I'm going to be using my animation to toggle a ring on Sonic's hand, as well as a sound effect to go with it. So we're going to call it ring on, ring off. And the next thing we need to do is we need to go up to component, and or no, it'd be window, I think. Yeah. So you need animation, and it'll bring up this little window. You just want to drag that little tab over into somewhere over, like, probably by hierarchy. And then you also want the animator, and you're going to stick that in the same area. So next step here, you take your animator controller you just made, drag it in here, and then you also want to drag it in your FX layer of your playable layers while you're here, just so you don't forget to do it later. While I'm thinking about it, I should probably resize this avatar. Anyway, back to what we were doing. So next thing you want to do here, once you've got your controller in the slot, is with your character selected, you want to go to the animator, and you'll see this like thing here, and this is basically your animation. So what we're going to want to do, we're going to drag ring off into our animator. And then we're also going to drag ring on into the animator. We want to make sure we have the off first, so that is the default animation. So then we want to make a transition back and forth. Now go up here, click on parameters, hit the plus, integer, and we're going to call it ring toggle. Now go to your parameters file for VRChat, click add, change it to an integer, ring toggle. It has to be the same as the one in your animator controller. And that's just what triggers these transitions. So now that you've got your parameter, you want to go to each of these transitions. You want to click on the arrows, and then hit plus on the conditions. And for ring off to ring on, you want the conditions to be ring toggle is greater than 0. And then I would also recommend like shortening the time. Because it just looks better. I don't know if it's placebo. Could be. But for going back, I'm going to go less than 1. And then make the same change here. And what that will do basically is when the animator starts, it puts you in the ring off animation until the ring toggle is set to 1, where it'll be set to ring on, and then when it's set back to 0, it will go back to ring off. And this makes sure that you can like toggle that however many times you want. So the animator is pretty much done now. Next step is actually making our animation. So right off the bat, we can't really do anything because we haven't added the objects that we need. So we want to go back to our main folder now and go into your character's hierarchy, and you should be able to get to whatever bone you want to attach your object to. So for me, I want to attach my ring to his right hand. So you probably already have an object that you want to put on your avatar. For me, it's this model of a ring. So I'm just going to drag this into the hierarchy for the right hand, and you'll notice it's a little bit big, and that's normal. So what you're going to want to do is going to want to shrink it and then you're also going to want to rotate it around. So you'll see it kind of looks like he's holding the ring. Now I also want to add a sound effect for when you pull out this ring. So now what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the right hand, go down to audio, add audio source, and we're going to rename this to ring spawn sound, or anything you want really. And so we're going to use this audio clip. It's just the ring sound effect from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So we're going to drag that in there. And what we want to do is we want to go to linear roll-off. And max distance 500 is a little bit big. Minimum distance we want it at 0. And we want to change the maximum distance to something more comfortable, like 25. I'll say 25. You'll see that's still really, really big. So let's tune it down a little bit more, go 15, and you'll see that's somewhat reasonable. That's somewhat reasonable. We're gonna go back to 20. And this is the range anybody will hear your sound effect in game. So if you want to be that guy and play a rap song throughout the entire world, you set that maximum distance all the way to 5,000. You do you. But we're going to set ours to 20. And you probably want to set your priority to 0. And you probably don't want it like too loud, so probably go like 0.5 on the volume. And I'm also going to do that, like, I'm gonna clone this real quick for a spawn-in sound. So with that done, you might be wondering, okay, so how do we toggle this? So first thing you want to do, you want to click on each of like the object and the sound. You want to disable them. Real quick, change the position on this. Okay. So you want these two things disabled. That is important. So now we can go to the animation tab and ring off. We want to go and add property, go into our armature, and we want to go to, well, that's leg, we want arm. We want to go to our hand and special ring and ring spawn sound. We want to click into them. Is active. Delete this one over here and make sure you keep it ticked off. And we're going to do this for both of these. So really what all this is doing is it's like setting a variable when this animation plays that disables these objects. So for the ring on object, or animation, we want to do the exact opposite. So now if you go into preview mode, don't worry about this pose, this is just the default pose. And so then ring on will spawn your ring and your sound. ring off will disable it. And you really probably want to test this before you like decide you want to upload, just to make sure it works. So when you're done doing all that, that's pretty much it. Well, no, there's one more step. So you want to go back into your animations and to the menu. And this is where you're going to add your toggle button, like for in-game use. So we're going to go title it ring. Alright, so once you find your PNG, you want to like download it and drag it into your anims folder. So after that, you just want to go to your texture type, change it to sprite, apply, and ideally you want a transparent image, just so it blends in with the menu better. And just drag that baby on into the icon. Then change your type from a button to a toggle. Set your parameter to a ring toggle. And that's pretty much it. Done. You're honestly done. Delete your Sonic controller from your animator, because the VRChat descriptor will handle that. And yeah. And oh, right. I still have the light from my blender. Just get rid of the sun real quick, that'll fix it. Alright, so you're probably going to get a lot of these like red stop things on your VRChat SDK. Really just don't worry about these. For the most part, they can just be auto-fixed. And that's that. You're done. I already have a version of this avatar. I'm going to update it with this version of the model. Copy ID. Click on my boy over here. And attach. Okay. Now if we build and publish for Windows, we can get on with our lives. Now I'm gonna save you the pain of having to watch the compile process for this. I'll get back to you guys when we're in game. If we change it up, you'll hear that he makes that sound when he spawns in. And if we press R, go to expressions, click ring, that ring will appear. And thus our job is complete.